what's going on? I'm Apprentice Demond, and in this video we're going to do a review on Blue Springs Living Water. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this poured up. This is one that was requested, and it took me a little bit to find, and they only sold it in a 12 pack. So if you guys are curious, what I end up doing is when I have a 12 pack and I only need to test one, I just give it to the community. I donate it to a church. So if you're curious on what I do with those extra bottles when I have to purchase these for your guys' reviews, that's what I do with them. Alright? And I'm going to be comparing this water against this electrolyte reduced water. And we will see how the two compare. Too much. I think we'll be alright. So, the first test we're going to do is on antioxidants, and this is the most important test that we're doing today. And that's because we have free radicals around us. And what they do is they create oxidation and inflammation in the body because they take away the electrons from our healthy cells. Oxidation happens, and so they can't breathe, they can't take in nutrients, they can't get rid of waste, and because of that, they become inflamed. Right? So any type of itis you're experiencing, bronchitis, tendonitis, plantar fasciitis, those are all inflammations happening in different areas of the body. Okay, so they're positively charged, they create sickness and dis-ease, so we desire antioxidants. They're negatively charged, they are full of electrons, and when we get those for ourselves, it brings balance. Not only does it bring balance, but it helps lower that inflammation, reduce that oxidation, so that cell can be working again. We want to do that on a grand scale for our body because that's going to keep us looking young and prevent us from getting those diseases. So, how do we check for that? With water. We're going to use this meter here. This is the oxidation reduction potential meter, and we're going to test the potential to reduce oxidation. So, if we see a positive number on here, that means the beverage is oxidizing. It's creating more rust and dis-ease in the body. However, if we see a negative number, we know it is a strong antioxidant. So let's see what we get here with the living water. Blue Springs Living Water. What are we seeing? Alright, we are seeing a 200, and it's rising, right? Which means it is oxidizing. 215, 217, and it is still going up. Okay, so this is the oxidizing water. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the electrolyte reduced water, see what we get here. What are we seeing? Check that dash out. So we are getting a negative 690, okay? Negative 690, and it's still going down. Right, so this is a very strong antioxidant, anti-inflammatory water, okay? So far, with just that test alone, we know that Blue Springs is oxidizing, okay? It can say living water, it can have great marketing, all that type of stuff, but the numbers don't lie, right? So, let's go ahead and jump into our next test. Alright, our second test is all about alkalinity, and this isn't really for our stomach, this is really for our blood. It must maintain that 7.365, and it's going to do that no matter what, right? But the question is, are we helping it or are we hurting it? If we are consuming things that are acidic and we do not provide that alkalinity to balance out the acidity, it's going to start taking those minerals from us. It's going to start taking from our skin, our bones, our joints, and our ligaments. That's why we're cracking in the morning. It can also lead to osteoporosis and even Alzheimer's if we keep staying in that acidic state. Okay, so we want something alkaline and we want to neutralize all the acidity that we're consuming day in and day out. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use these pH drops, and we're going to put them into both of the waters. If we see a red or orange or yellow, that means it's acidic. It's forcing our body to take those minerals and electrolytes from us. If we see a blue or purple or a dark purple, we know that's alkaline and it's helping our body keep that balance and keep our blood good. Okay, so let's see what we get here with Blue Spring. Alright, so as we see here, Blue Springs is looking, I don't know, what do you guys see? I think this one's a little challenging. It looks alkaline to me, right? So if I stir it up a little bit more, this one we clearly see is a 9.5. This Blue Springs is looking blue. So I'm just curious. Looking 8-ish, maybe between a 7 and an 8, right? So should we check for alkalinity, see how strong it is? Let's do that. So I'm gonna blow into it and see if it stays the same color or if it drops down to be acidic, right? And the reason why we're doing this is because we want to ensure that the alkaline water, the beverage that we're consuming, is actually strong enough to neutralize and battle the acidity that we take in. If it's strong, it will maintain its color. If it's not strong, it's going to drop down, right? And we want to know what's really going on. So let's go ahead and see what we get here with Blue Springs Living Water. All right, I don't know, did it change? It looked like it changed a little bit to me. You guys let me know what you see on your end. I want to say it looks yellow. Looks like it went, where are those drops at? It looks like it went acidic, but I'm pretty sure it's neutral. Because the spring water should stay neutral. We're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. If y'all see something different, let me know in the comments. It's looking between a 6 and a 7 to me, right? But let's see. Looking at the back of this, it says nature's perfect pH balanced spring water, harvested and bottled at the source in Blount County, Alabama. Let me know if I said that right. Blount is Blount or Blount? B-L-O-U-N-T. And so it says that's been microfiltered and then ozonated to ensure quality. Okay, so they did do something. It says 300 years from source to sip. So there you have it. I want to say it's neutral. Personally, I would like to say that stayed neutral. I don't think it really changed much, which is fine. But again, just check that one, not check this one, right? Let's go and see what happens with this electrolyte reduced water. Alright, it's not changing. Alright, so depending on why you're drinking this, if you're drinking for the alkaline properties or just being able to neutralize acidity, this could be a better water for you, especially with the first test that we did on antioxidants. But there you have it. Let's say this is neutral. It's tough for me to see. Well, I see something, but sometimes you guys see a little different. So we'll say that it is neutral. Let's go ahead and jump into our next test. Alrighty, on to our third test. This one is all about superior hydration. We want to ensure that if we're going to be drinking water, and we're going to be buying this and having it shipped all the way over to California, that's where I'm at, it better hydrate me. And not just sit in my stomach. It needs to hydrate me at a cellular level, right? If it ain't doing that, I'm not spending that money. I'm not doing all this extra shipping and paying for all those things. It's expensive these days, alright? So, how are we going to test this? We're going to test this by making tea. And I know it sounds crazy, but if the water is small enough, it's going to hydrate us at a cellular level. And what better way to do this than making tea? So we're going to pull out one of these tea bags. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, Princess, don't you have to boil the tea? Yeah, that is one way to make tea, but why are we boiling it? We're boiling it because it heats up the water, makes the water vibrate, makes it smaller, and it's actually able to pull out the nutrients from the tea. But can you make tea cold? We're going to find out here in just a moment with Blue Spring. Let's see what happens. Alright. So it doesn't look like we're getting anything, so we're going to have to do a little jumping up and down. Which, by the way, you shouldn't have to jump up and down to get hydrated. This is what happens with a lot of waters here. They end up being like in a way where you don't really get hydrated. So we're starting to get something. But it's definitely taking some work. And it looks like a tea light, right? Like it's not tea I would drink, okay? But let's see what happens with this electrolyte reduced water. Wow. So this is a much better tea right here. Look at that, it's darker, it's bolder, and it looks like it hydrates us better. So this is the difference, right? Between if you're taking vitamins, if you're taking medicine, and you want it to work quicker, then the right water can help it actually get to you and start working, right? But I know what you're probably thinking. You're like, well, Prentice, you cheated. The bag was already wet. You did all this dunking over here. So that's what opened up the tea bag. So let's go ahead and try it again. Maybe we'll get something different with this living water. And we're not getting anything. It is not changing, right? And so you're probably thinking like, oh, the reason why is because there's no more tea. There can't be any more tea in the tea bag, right? But if we try it one more time, we see that we're still getting tea, still dark, still working. So it's definitely the water, okay? And I know that they coined themselves saying that as living water, but here's the challenge. Here's the problem with that. The moment we take that living water and we put it in a bottle and we suffocate it, we close the lid, it's not living anymore. All right, so just think about that. And normally by the time we get the water, it's 3, 6, 9 months of suffocated water. It's not living anymore. All right. So there you have it. That is the third test. And I'm pretty sure, actually, let's see this one. Yeah, when you actually have living water, it's going to actually help out in that regard. It's going to help out and make everything better. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a quick recap on the tests that we've done so far. All right, we tested Blue Springs living water for 3 things. The first test was antioxidants, and we saw that it was oxidizing. Okay, I want to say it was getting into the 150, 200 range, while the electrolyte reduced water was a negative, like 680, I think at the time. The second test we did was on alkalinity, and when we did the test, we saw that this was maybe slightly, my eyes are getting old on me. I want to say this was maybe neutral, maybe a little bit better, right? And then when we tested it, it maintained it, right? So that's good, but we want to have something stronger, especially for all the stuff that we're consuming, especially all the pollution that's in the world and all the different challenges we're going through, including stress, right? And so the electrolyte reduced water was a 9.5 and it maintained that, which is a much stronger pH. The last test we did was on superior hydration, getting hydrated at that cellular level. And we saw that we were getting a very light tea when we were trying to make this, and we had to jump up and down just to get that. While the electrolyte reduced water was a bolder, darker tea, and actually able to hydrate us better. Okay, so there you have it. That is my review of Blue Springs living water. And if you want to experience true living water, water that hasn't been suffocated in a bottle, and that you don't have to pay for all the shipping and stuff for, you may want to check out my masterclass I have on this electrolyte reduced water. It is in the description. The link is in the description, or is the first comment pinned to the video. All right. Thanks for watching, and if there's a water that you want me to test, let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you next video.